What if your next threat to your evolution isn't a person, but a name you keep answering to? What if the label you once wore for survival is now anchoring you to a timeline you already outgrew? This isn't about what you're called. It's about what you allow, how you move, how you speak, how you show up when no one's watching. This episode won't hold your hand. It holds a scalpel. Because before you ascend, you must be stripped. And before you land, you will be tested on how much of the old self you're still trying to dress up in Destiny's clothes. This is the final fitting. Not for appearance, for alignment. Let's talk about it. The sacred suspension. This isn't peace. This is protocol. Before a quantum leap, there's always stillness, a metaphysical stall, a divine airlock that holds you not to punish, but to prevent contamination. The breath slows, the senses dull, the urge to rush spikes, but there's nothing to grab. And that's the point. If you resist it, you prolong it. If you fight it, you forfeit the upgrade. Because the new timeline waits for readiness, not desperation. It activates when you're clean. And right now, you're still wearing the soot of your last survival. This isn't confusion. This is cosmic recalibration. Your DNA is being threaded into a new reality, and rushing it just tangles the code. The unnaming. Before you can become, you must be unnamed. The ego clings to titles, even if they were written in trauma. Black sheep, problem child, scapegoat, savior. Some of these names were armor. Others were spiritual cages. None of them belong to who you're becoming. Healing won't let you keep them. Healing enters with scissors. It doesn't ask, it removes. This is the ritual of removal. Every thread of false identity cut, every borrowed title returned, every name spoken over you in fear burned. And yes, it hurts because some of those names were the only way you ever felt seen. But now you've outgrown the costume. And the mission has changed. The ritual of refitting. You're not just evolving, you're being reissued. This isn't about shifting behavior. This is a full energetic upgrade from root to realm. Your posture shifts, your voice deepens, your discernment sharpens, your presence becomes a mirror. It's like wearing a garment sewn from voltage. Everything false itches. Everything stagnant burns. And anyone still speaking the language of your former self, it'll sound like static, like trying to connect to a signal that's been disabled. Some will swear they know you, but your spirit will glitch at their frequency. Because you've been recoded. The void was the firewall, and anything that didn't pass through clean got blocked. Not to hurt them, to protect you. Fragments of false identity left unchecked become spiritual magnets that drag you back into timelines you barely crawled out of. And this time, there is no escape hatch. The unclaimed self. Before the name returns, there is silence. Before embodiment, there is absence. You are no longer who you were, but you're not yet rooted in who you're becoming. And in that hallway, you feel unrecognizable. Even to yourself, your reflection flickers. Your voice sounds foreign. People look at you and don't see you. And this is where it happens, the final test. Because the unknown will whisper, go back. At least you knew who you were. And the moment you reach for an old name just to feel real again, you trigger the loop. Not with drama, but with quiet self-abandonment. A whisper of regression dressed as comfort. Rush this part and you'll default to an outdated script. Pretend you're already there and you attract mirrors that reflect the last version, not the real one. The hallway isn't a pause. It's a crossroads. And if you choose the unknown, if you let the silence see you instead of escaping it, then something opens. And what meets you isn't applause. It's clarity. Not a title, a frequency. One that doesn't need proof, only presence. The alpha returns. You weren't exiled. You were elevated. The black sheep was never your curse. It was a signal you were never meant to graze among the docile. You didn't lose the pack. You were called to lead it, not to dominate, but to model freedom, to remind others what it means to be wild again. You walked through the fire. You laid the false names at the altar. You didn't cower in the hallway. You let the silence cleanse you. Now the door opens, and when you cross it, you don't whisper, you howl. Somewhere in the chaotic abyss between the person you once were and the individual you're morphing into lies a deafening silence that screams for the raw, unfiltered truth. What are you still holding on to? What baggage needs to be set ablaze to keep your signal clear as the summer sky? Let's be real. The soul doesn't exactly thrive under a veil of deception. Timelines built on shaky foundation of false identity, they were destined to crumble faster than a house of cards. This is it. Your ultimate fitting, the final fitting, not for some superficial image, but for your integrity. And this time, the garment better hug your spirit like a long-lost friend. Are you ready to shed the weight and step inside your true self? Wait, hold on. Before you go, hold on. All right. You made it to this part of the episode. Thank you for staying, remaining, and watching. I want to give you an energetic cleanse with some Palo Santo. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Your likes, your shares, your follows, your reposts, all of that is much appreciated. I am Wolfie. This is the Empowered Shadows podcast. And I look forward to chatting with you another time. Take care.